Hi, this is the CoinStudio Lite introduction video. My name is Marcus from CrossTech, and today we'll go over the features of CoinStudio Lite, what it actually is for, and I hope you enjoy this video. So CoinStudio Lite is basically a tool that keeps your trades in sane boundaries. You probably have already traded something or you're about to trade and you heard about the volatility of the cryptocurrency market. CoinStudio Lite is actually able to help you to prevent you to buying from too high or selling too low. It can also act as a companion if you're already in technical analysis. Then it could help you to verify your TA as a second opinion. Um, you get access to CoinStudio Lite through crosstech.org, and once you registered there and you bought a subscription to CoinStudio Lite, you will be able to log in at CoinStudio Lite itself. CoinStudio Lite is a web app. It's not installable at desktop computers or mobile phones. You just open the browser and it runs. Any popular browser will work. And you're not required to to hand out any sensitive information, sensible information like API exchange keys, exchange API keys, sorry, and so you're in full control over your trades. So then let's get right into it and log in. And this is the this is basically the interface of CoinStudio Lite. It's really simple. And the main entry point for you to actually start is choosing the pairs or the coins that you want to trade, and then you have features like switching to another exchange. Currently, Binance is supported. Over time. We're going to add new exchanges and some features that will be important later in this video. But just let's say we want to trade something. Yeah, we have some funds and we're willing to trade something. You could either pick a coin that you were previously looking for. Let's say you did some TA and it turned out that one coin would be interesting for you. Then you just search this coin. Let's say classic. You're looking for USDT BTC pair. Then you would simply search for it and choose it, and then it would be displayed here. But you could also, if you don't know what you actually want to buy. It's also very interesting if you just search for a market, which would be BTC. Then you would get a list of all BTC pairs that are offered on the exchange. And here you have these levels. These are potentials, low, high potentials. Well, let me first explain you what potentials are. Potentials are is basically the distance between the lows and highs. Yeah. So here, CoinStudio sees some gains can be made between the low and high. Here in this case, for the BTC ETH pair, it would be like less than 1%. On level 2, it would be like 6.53% and 21.27%. Level actually means, and that will occur very often. Level is basically an indicator for, let's say, for trading, about trading frequency. It is also a measure of time, but not really like it doesn't really say like that this will happen like within an hour or 10 minutes. It can actually happen, but it's not necessarily to happen. So it depends really on the pair, how high the volume is, the 24-hour volume, and thus the trading frequency. And depending on what direction the pair is then going, You will either decide for level 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. We will get into detail with the actual cards that we are selecting. Yeah. You can add up to 15 cards, which would mean you would be able to add to observe and monitor 15 trading pairs. So let's add a few more. Let's say we don't know what we're gonna choose, and usually what I'm doing is I'm looking for trading pairs that give like 5 to most 10% potential on level 1. So this means BTC BNB would be a possible candidate that I would look for, or BTC market we want it, BTC OMG for example, and let's pick another two which could be interesting. Key, yeah, 5%, and probably not ETH, let's say Strat. So here got the selection of the pairs that I want to monitor because I found them interesting, and now I explain each card, each feature of a card. So you actually see the pair name, you see the potentials that I was talking about previously here on the search bar. But you see here that you have the potentials for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and 1 hour. This means at the most recent estimate, the potential was 2.9%, yeah, and on the 30-minute scale, it was 3.08%. So the potential got lower. This means in the meanwhile, usually that the coin went upwards, yeah. And this is the potential on level 1. If we click on level 2, you usually see higher potentials. In this case, they stayed the same over the different time frames. Yeah, this means up to 30 minutes ago it was 6%, the same way it was like up to 1 hour ago. And the same on level 3 goes even more up with the potential. Yeah, and here the changes they're slightly different. So the US dollar BTC pair is actually quite stable on the scale, but you can extend the scale if you click here from basic view to advanced view. You get a lot more time frames. These time frames simply mean that that there has been a snapshot taken, yeah, like 3 hours ago. Up to 3 hours ago, it was probably the potential was probably 1.6%, and up to 7 days ago, it was 1.9%. So you have an overview here how stable the development of the potential was over the last 30 days. Yeah. And then you have the current price. It's the real-time price. You can see how it changes here. Then you have the live sale volume. Please don't mix that up with the 24-hour volume. And you have the buy volume. This is actually the real-time volume in here in this case in USDT. And it also gives you an insight of the actually which side of sellers and buyers have the upper hand. It might sound a little bit odd, but it's better that the sell volume is going up rather than the buy volume is going up. This is simply because when sell happened, the buyer became a maker. So you would always be looking for example that the sell volume is getting higher, more quickly higher than the buy volume. This would mean that the coin is building up good volume, and the buyers and more buyers are actually makers and pushing up the price. Then you have our FOMO meter here for this pair. Um, this is not a little bit predictive. It's not necessarily the current state of where things are heading to. Um, but you can imagine if the FOMO is going more on the right side, then the coin will go up, and if it's going to the left side, then the coin will go down. This is not always the case. It's a very interesting tool because few weeks ago we had that at Key, if you see Key here, when it had this insane pump up to 777 sats. It was showing actually a lot of fat while it was going upwards. Um, this could have irritated people actually because the coin was going up, up, up. Yeah, it was a pretty huge pump, but still the fat was really high. It was a lot on the fat side. So what actually then happened, if you look at the chart, it actually happened a lot of these, or all of the gains that have been made have been lost, and Keys was really quickly back at it where it started from in this region, 160 sats. So it was in this case it was a kind of a warning. Yeah. So okay, the coin goes up, but be prepared um, for a real hard downfall, which actually happened. I'm usually looking for the case that if I look at the FOMO meter, that it stays in the center position for a while and then slowly moves to either one or the other side. And I keep watching it. Sometimes I keep watching it over days to see which side is actually preferred over the other before I make any decision. Yeah. For example, if I see a coin is more on the fat side, which actually happened a lot for TRX recently, um, and it goes over days, then I actually know based on this prediction that it's not really going well. In the case for TRX, CoinStudio was totally right. It started somewhere around 650 sats, and it showed it was a pretty long time on the fat side before actually the downfall for sub 500 happened. So it was a good signal for me to rather get out and really try to buy the dip. Um, then you have the time frames for the predictions themselves, which is actually the part you're looking for. They get along with these potentials. This means that this 10-minute, the most recent prediction, is or estimate is getting along with the potential for the 10 minutes, and the 30 minutes for the 30-minute potential, and the 1 hour prediction for the 1 hour potential. So the potentials are basically the difference in percent between um, these timescales. So the difference from low to high on the 10 minutes are 2.89%. So in this area, your gains could move if it actually hits on both sides. Um, Same, of course, is valid for the 30-minute and 1 hour. So the 30-minute time scale on the low, and the difference between the low and the high is actually what you could have gained or what is possible to gain in between. Now we have the special situation at the time of recording this video that we are in kind of a weird market. There was a lot of not so nice price actions from BTC over the last months. I think it got really bad by the end of April. That you would rather look for low price estimates. So and here we come back to the levels. Um, it's very important to know that if the market is rather bearish, that you are not operate on level one, at least not for the lows, because they will actually happen. It can happen that these price predictions that you see here, they are going to level out some sort of there, but it doesn't really need to happen that these highs are happening. Yeah. So this means that this potential that is given here can actually become very risky in a bearish market. Um, when you know that the market is bearish, you would rather focus on buying at the lows given on the second level, if not even on the third level. And it's very important to go by that, especially in bearish markets. If we are in a bullish market, then it's absolutely no problem to ride the waves actually, and go with the lows given on level one and selling on the highs on level one. But in this current situation that we have now, I would simply go to level two, try to catch the lows on level two, and sell at what's given at the highs. Yeah? If you see that the market is really, really bad, there has been a crash happening, or the crash is about to happen, then you would even go for level 3. So the predictions themselves, it's quite straightforward. Once you decided which level you will be going for, you would be setting a buy order based on the low. Since CoinStudio Lite doesn't know the direction, you need to find the direction, which means that you should always start with a buy order, of course, but buy order based on a low. So I would say, let's see for TRX. TRX is currently rather heading down. You see that it went a little bit into the FUD area from the center position. It keeps doing that since quite a while. So, in my opinion, and based what I've seen in the chart, I would rather go for level 2, yeah, which is pointing here at the latest prediction to 449 sats. Then I'm gonna check how the history was. And 2 hours ago it was on 462 sats, and 7 hours ago it was in 455. So it's always circling around between 450 and 460 sats. So I would say, okay, if we buy, then we can buy here, yeah, level 2, and then I would probably add half a percent or a percent on top, just to make sure not to miss. Yeah, so this means I would sell a buy order here and wait for it to hit. Yeah, and actually, if it would have hit, because of the market situation, especially with TRX, I would rather go and try to sell on the high at level 1. Here I'll do basically the same thing. I'm checking the most recent one and see how the history was 7 hours ago. It was almost like the most recent predicted high, and it actually seemed over the scale of the last 7 hours looks pretty stable. And I would probably consult now the charts too to verify things, but it seems pretty legit that if it would hit the 449, that it would try to make another run to get into that regions. It proved to do that in the past anyway, and we are also expecting another announcement today, I think. So all the sentiment is coming together here on the high and level 1. And what I actually would not do is I would not, after a buy order hit, a low hit, I would not just set the high just like that. I would try to stay 1% below, just like I I try to stay 1% above, not to miss out. I would like to stay 1% under it. So um, in this case, there would still be enough gains between the level 2 low and level 1 high to actually have some good gains. And also important is that if a sell order is set based on the high, that they are frequently controlled. What I also wouldn't do is just wait until it hits, because CoinStudio Lite is not a holy grail, of course. It still can fail, yeah, in all honesty, and you need to control it, which means that these predictions, they can change over time, and if you see that they get lower, yeah, then you would also change your sell orders accordingly, yeah, and at some point that you decide which point it will be, if it would be a little gain or a little loss, you would simply need to get out based on the trading strategy that you use. Um, it is recommended that you check 2 to maximum 5 times a day. Um, Personally, I'm very conservative. If the predictions go up, I'll stick rather with what I saw first. Yeah, because predictions can go up while they are in the process, but at some point when the stochastics are simply are reached and the coin is uh, overbought, then it simply will go down, and you would need to wait for the next wave that is coming, and that is actually not really nothing you want to do. So I will stay with uh, what I saw first. Yeah. And yeah, what else to say? We also have here the overall market Fatfomometer. Currently, it's not moving much. I observed that it tries to stay in the middle, because it goes across all pairs for that exchange. And when you see it, it goes slightly into the fudge region, it already has a big impact on the overall market. So this means that when it's slightly in the fudge region, and it's doing that for quite a while already, that the market is not really playing in our favor, and you should be careful. If you see it going further here, we will definitely have a crash situation. And based on this prediction in the current market, I know it sounds very negative, but based on the experience I made with CoinStudio Lite, it is likely, as for how long this is already going on here, there's a chance that a crash is coming. So be prepared about this. Um, so I would say this as introduction, this is fine. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I could give you an insight of what CoinStudio Lite is actually doing. There will be a lot of videos coming where we will actually trade. Um, and if you have questions of any kind, just visit our Discord. You will find the link to the Discord on the product page of CoinStudio Lite at crosstech.org. And in our Discord, we will answer any question that might arise in real time. And you're also invited to join, and it's a nice place to hang out anyway. So then I wish you a good day and happy trading, and see you later, guys.